The military base lay in a deep canyon on the harsh planet of Koroth. The wind howled between jagged rocks, carrying dust and sand that scratched at the cadets' armor. They were here for training, but not the ordinary kind. Today, they faced the war-beast, a massive creature of legend. Its scales were black and glimmered like metal under the harsh sun. Its eyes burned with intelligence, and its claws could tear through reinforced steel. Every cadet who tried to tame it had failed, some barely escaping with their lives. Captain Wren, the base commander, stood on the observation platform, his arms crossed. "Remember," he shouted, "this is not about strength. The war-beast tests your mind as much as your courage. One wrong move, and it will crush you. Every cadet before you has failed. Don't be next." The first cadet, a young officer named Jalen, stepped forward with confidence. His armor gleamed, and he carried a training staff. "I've got this," he muttered. The war-beast stirred from its cage, lifting its head with a hiss that echoed off the canyon walls. Its wings flared, casting a shadow over the sand. Jalen raised his staff and charged. The war-beast reared back, then lunged with terrifying speed. Jalen barely dodged, but a swipe of its tail sent him sprawling across the dirt. He scrambled to his feet, but the war-beast's roar echoed again, and he froze in fear. Another swipe knocked him into the rocks, and he slid down, groaning. The other cadets flinched. "Next!" Wren barked. Cadet Mira stepped forward. She tried a calm approach, speaking softly and offering a hand. The war-beast tilted its head, studying her, but was not interested in kindness alone. With a sudden roar, it lunged, knocking her back. She rolled to the side, gasping, and scrambled away. The war-beast stomped and growled, shaking the ground beneath them. One by one, cadets attempted. Some tried fear and force, raising staffs or shouting commands. Some tried technology, firing non-lethal weapons or using magnetic restraints. Every attempt failed. The war-beast was too intelligent, too powerful, and too wary. It watched them with sharp golden eyes, reading their intentions. Every cadet left bruised, humbled, and scared. From a distance, Alex watched quietly. He was not a cadet. He was a technician, a human who worked on the equipment and systems at the base. Unlike the cadets, he did not try to impress anyone or prove his courage. He only studied the creature, noting the way it shifted its weight, the subtle twitch of its ears, and the patterns in its breathing. "Why don't you try?" one of the cadets sneered. "You're just a mechanic. You don't even have armor." Alex shook his head. "I'm not here to fight it," he said simply. "I'm here to understand it." The commander noticed him and raised an eyebrow. "You want to approach the war-beast? You've seen every cadet fail. What makes you think you'll succeed?" Alex replied calmly, "I'm not thinking about success. I'm thinking about learning." Wren hesitated, then nodded. "Fine, but stay cautious. One mistake, and it will crush you." Alex stepped forward. He carried no staff, no weapon, only a small pouch of supplies. The war-beast's eyes followed him, suspicious and curious. It hissed, a low rumble vibrating in the canyon, and took a step toward him. Alex stopped and crouched slightly, keeping his movements slow and deliberate. He did not try to dominate, did not try to show strength. Instead, he observed. The war-beast sniffed the air, lowering its massive head to the ground. Alex reached into his pouch and slowly offered a piece of dried meat, holding it in his open hand. The war-beast hesitated. Its nostrils flared, and it studied him closely. No sudden movements, no loud noises, just calm and steady attention. Slowly, it stepped closer, towering over him. Alex did not flinch. He kept his eyes on the creature, speaking softly in a calm, even voice. "Easy," he said quietly. "It's okay. I'm not here to hurt you." The war-beast's clawed foot shifted, pressing into dirt, but it did not strike. Instead, it sniffed the offered meat, then sat back on its haunches. Alex smiled faintly. This small gesture, this moment of trust, was the first success any human had achieved with the creature. The cadets gasped from the observation platform. They had never seen the war-beast sit. It was a simple movement, but it was revolutionary. For the first time, the war-beast had shown curiosity instead of aggression. It had not fled, it had not attacked. It had chosen to observe and wait. Alex continued, slowly offering small pieces of meat, speaking in low tones. The creature's eyes softened slightly, and it allowed him to approach closer. He noticed every twitch, every shift of weight, every subtle sign of mood. He was not commanding it. He was learning from it. Rin, watching from above, shook his head in amazement. "I've never seen anything like this," he muttered. "Every cadet failed, and yet here's a human, quiet and careful, earning the war-beast's attention." The war-beast lowered its massive head to the ground, breathing heavily but without aggression. Alex crouched beside it, offering another small gesture. Slowly, carefully, the war-beast nudged its nose toward him. It had not yet trusted completely, but it had chosen not to fight. That moment changed everything. The base had witnessed centuries of failure, and now a single human had achieved what others could not. Patience, calmness, and understanding had triumphed over strength, aggression, and fear. Alex stood quietly beside the war-beast, his heart steady. He knew this was only the beginning. The creature had allowed him close, but the real challenge, the building of trust, the bond that could turn a fearsome war-beast into an ally, was yet to come. And so, the war-beast awakened not only in body but in spirit, ready to respond to a human who saw beyond power and fear. A bond was beginning, one that might change the course of the military, the base, and perhaps even the fate of humanity. After the war-beast had allowed Alex close, whispers spread to the military base. The cadets and officers could not believe what they had seen. Every cadet before had failed. Yet this quiet human, who carried no weapons or armor, had earned the creature's attention. Some were skeptical, others curious, but all were watching. Captain Rin called Alex to the observation platform. "You've done something no one else could, but this is only the first step. The war-beast may allow you close, but it won't follow commands or cooperate easily. Are you ready for that?" Alex nodded. "I don't want it to follow commands blindly. I want to understand it. If it trusts me, it may cooperate willingly." The officers were confused. Trust? With a war-beast? "You realize how dangerous it is, don't you?" "I know," Alex said calmly. "But fear and force will never work. We need patience, observation, and respect. That's how we can reach it." That day, Alex approached the war-beast again. He moved slowly, speaking softly. He carried a small set of tools. Nothing threatening, only items to observe or interact with creature. The cadets watched from a safe distance, some still doubting, some secretly hoping. The war-beast's eyes followed him, golden and intense. It shifted its massive weight, testing whether Alex would make a wrong move. Alex crouched at a distance, watching the creature's breathing, the way its claws pressed into the ground, the subtle twitch of its ears. He spoke softly. "It's okay. I won't hurt you." The war-beast lowered its head slightly, not fully trusting but no longer showing aggression. Alex offered a piece of dried meat again, letting it sniff and take it on its own terms. Slowly, carefully, the creature began to respond to his gestures. It did not growl, it did not charge, it observed. Alex noted everything. He realized the war-beast reacted not to loud commands or physical threats, but to confidence without aggression. A calm presence, steady and patient, earned its curiosity. He started using small hand signals to indicate direction, movement, or attention. The war-beast studied them, tilting its head and mimicking small movements with its claws or wings. One of the cadets muttered, "This is ridiculous. It's just food. That's all." Alex shook his head. "It's more than food. It's trust. It's communication. The war-beast understands fear and confidence. If we respect it, it respects us in return." Hours passed. The war-beast followed Alex's movements carefully, though it did not obey commands yet. Alex used reflective surfaces, small mirrors from his tools, to capture the creature's attention and redirect it without force. He showed the war-beast how to step around obstacles and guided it with gentle pressure on its shoulder scales. The creature's breathing became steady. It shifted closer to Alex, letting him approach within a few meters. This was progress no cadet had achieved. It was not blind obedience but careful observation, a willingness to engage on its own terms. Alex realized that forcing the creature would destroy this fragile trust. Patience, not strength, was the key. Captain Wren observed from the platform, impressed despite himself. "I've never seen a human interact like this," he said. "Every cadet relied on force or fear. This is different." Alex continued over several days. He brought small objects for the war-beast to explore, simple puzzles to engage his mind. He did not try to dominate or impress. He offered choice and observation. The war-beast responded, sometimes sitting, sometimes nudging objects with its nose. Slowly, it began to understand Alex as someone different, someone not to fear, someone to watch, someone who might be an ally. The cadets started to pay attention, some reluctantly. They noticed that the war-beast responded only when approached with calmness, not when confronted with weapons or shouts. Alex taught them to step back, to wait, to observe first before attempting action. The lesson was clear. Fear and aggression failed. Patience and empathy worked. Then, during one session, the war-beast did something remarkable. It stood tall, flared its wings, and then, without warning, it walked over Alex and lowered itself to the ground in front of him. This act of submission was the first real sign of trust any human had earned. The cadets gasped. The officers whispered. Captain Wren nodded slowly, a rare smile crossing his face. Alex crouched beside the war-beast. "Good," he said softly. "You're learning to trust, just like I am learning to understand you." He realized that the war-beast was not just a weapon or a training challenge. It was intelligent, emotional, and capable of forming bonds. Its fearsome appearance and immense power hid a mind that could reason, observe, and choose allies carefully. Alex knew that no amount of force would ever replace this connection. The war-beast nudged him gently with its snout, and Alex understood that a new phase had begun. The creature would not blindly obey, but would cooperate willingly, guided by trust and respect. It had chosen him, just as he had chosen patience and observation. By the end of the day, the cadets and officers had learned an important lesson. The war-beast could not be tamed by fear or force. It responded only to calm, patient, and intelligent humans who approached it with understanding. Alex had proven that the true strength of humanity was not brute force, advanced weapons, or military training. It was empathy, intelligence, and courage to act wisely. As Alex left the chamber, the war-beast watched him, its golden eyes calm but alert. It had recognized a human who was different from the others, one who could be trusted, one who might one day guide it not as a prisoner, but as a partner. And in that quiet moment, the seeds of an extraordinary bond were planted, one that would challenge the expectations of everyone at the base and perhaps change the course of future battles. The war-beast had sat before one human, and in that choice lay the beginning of a new chapter, one where humans could prove their unique strength in a world ruled by fearsome creatures. Days passed, and Alex continued his careful approach with the war-beast. Every morning, he would enter the chamber slowly, carrying only his small pouch of supplies. He never rushed, never raised his voice, and never made sudden movements. The war-beast, once fierce and unapproachable, now greeted him with cautious curiosity. Its golden eyes followed his every step, and its massive wings twitched in quiet anticipation. Alex began to notice subtle details. The way the war-beast shifted its weight could signal mood. When it lowered its head slightly, it meant curiosity. When it tapped its claws on the ground, it was agitated. By paying attention to these signs, Alex learned how to respond without fear, and more importantly, how to communicate. One morning, Alex brought a small wooden ball from the training area. He placed it on the ground near the war-beast and nudged it gently toward the creature. The war-beast sniffed it, then tapped it with a claw. It pushed the ball back toward Alex. A small smile crossed Alex's face. This was the first real interaction where the war-beast had chosen to participate rather than respond out of fear or aggression. The cadets watched from a distance, whispering among themselves. "It's impossible," one said. "No one could ever get to do that." Another shook their head. "He's not controlling it, he's learning from it." Alex realized that understanding, not commands, was the key. He knelt and spoke softly. "See, you can choose. I will follow your lead, but you can trust me." Slowly, the war-beast nudged the ball again, and this time it rolled it toward him. Alex reached out carefully and tapped it back. They played the silent game for several minutes. It was not just a test of intelligence, but a moment of connection. Over the next few days, Alex continued his patient interactions. He used reflective surfaces to show the war-beast its own movements. It reacted with curiosity, watching itself move in the reflection. Alex taught it simple gestures. Nodding meant attention. Lowering a head meant readiness to follow. Stepping back meant waiting. The war-beast began to mimic these gestures, showing a surprising ability to understand human signals. One afternoon, Alex decided to try a new approach. He built a small obstacle course with ramps and low walls. He walked slowly alongside the war-beast, signaling each movement. At first, the creature hesitated, unsure of the task. Alex waited, patient and calm, giving it time to think. Slowly, it stepped on the first ramp, then over the walls, guided only by gentle gestures and encouragement. The cadets gasped from the observation platform. "It's cooperating?" one whispered. "No one has ever done that." Captain Wren nodded, his voice quiet with amazement. "This is not just training. This is a bond forming. This is intelligence and patience working together." Alex smiled softly. "It's not obedience. It's understanding. We are learning each other's language." The war-beast began to follow him more closely. It would sit or lie down when Alex stopped, move when he moved, and wait patiently when he waited. It was not perfect, and it did not respond every time, but each small success strengthened their connection. Alex realized that trust was growing between them, not fear. Then one day, an unexpected event occurred. A warning alarm sounded. A small mechanical drone had malfunctioned and was flying erratically in the chamber. The cadets panicked, unsure what to do. The war-beast tensed, growling low in its throat. Most humans would have reacted with fear or aggression, but Alex stayed calm. "Stay still," he whispered. The war-beast watched him carefully, understanding that he was not afraid. Slowly, it approached the drone, nudging it gently with its snout. The drone fell harmlessly to the ground. Alex reached out and deactivated it. The war-beast stepped back, eyes alert but calm. Captain Wren watched in stunned silence. "It understood him," he muttered. "It followed his lead because he didn't panic." Alex knelt beside the war-beast. "See," he said softly, "you don't have to fight. You can think. You can choose. We can work together." The war-beast lowered its massive head and rested on the ground beside him. It had not yet obeyed commands blindly, but it had accepted him as a partner. This moment marked a turning point. Alex realized that humans could succeed where cadets had failed because they could combine intelligence, patience, and empathy, qualities that machines or brute strength could not match. From that day on, their connection deepened. Alex taught the war-beast small tasks, moving objects, following gestures, even responding to voice cues. The creature learned quickly, not because it was forced, but because it chose to cooperate. It became clear that understanding and respect were more powerful than fear or aggression. By the end of the week, the war-beast would follow Alex from one end of the chamber to the other, stopping when he stopped, waiting when he waited, and responding with subtle gestures. The cadets took notes, realizing that their training methods had relied too much on force and control. Alex's success showed them a new way, that humans achieve extraordinary results by observing, listening, and understanding. The commander finally addressed the group. "Every cadet has failed. Every strategy based on strength alone has failed. But here is a human who understands. He has taught the war-beast to respond, not through fear, but through patience, intelligence, and trust. That is the true strength of humanity." The war-beast shifted its head, letting Alex place a hand on its massive neck. It did not flinch. It did not growl. It simply acknowledged him. For the first time, the creature had chosen to sit quietly, beside a human, not as a captive, but as an equal willing to cooperate. Alex stood slowly. "We've only just begun," he said softly. "There's more to learn, more to understand, but we're on the right path." And as he walked back toward the observation platform, the war-beast followed closely, watching him carefully, ready to learn, ready to trust, and ready to face whatever challenges would come next. A connection had been made, one that no cadet, no weapon, and no force could have achieved. The base was quiet that morning, but tension filled the air. Captain Wren had organized a test for the war-beast, a simulated combat exercise, to see if any human could work with effectively. Every cadet had failed this test before, either through fear, aggression, or poor strategy. Now all eyes were on Alex. He was not a cadet, but he had formed a bond with the war-beast that no one else had managed. Alex approached the arena slowly, carrying only a small pouch of tools and a few supplies. The war-beast followed, its massive wings tucked close, its golden eyes focused. It had learned to trust Alex, but this test would push that trust to the limit. Remember, Captain Wren called to the observing cadets. This is not about control. Watch and learn. Alex's success depends on understanding, not force. The war-beast shifted on the sand, nostrils flaring slightly. Alex crouched, speaking softly. Stay calm. We'll do this together. The creature tilted its head, acknowledging him. It had learned patience, but now it needed to act on that trust. The simulation began. A set of mechanical drones, designed to mimic hostile attackers, were released into the arena. They buzzed and moved unpredictably, testing reflexes and strategy. Previous cadets had panicked, firing weapons, or trying to herd the war-beast, which always led to chaos. Alex stood quietly and signaled the war-beast to stay at his side. "Observe first," he whispered. The creature crouched low, eyes scanning the drones. It was tense but not afraid. It had learned to respond to Alex's calm presence rather than reacting blindly. The drones moved closer. One charged directly at Alex. He held out a hand to the war-beast, signaling it to flank the threat. The war-beast understood. It leapt with precision, knocking the drone off course and sending it spinning harmlessly into the sand. The cadets gasped. No one had ever seen the war-beast react so quickly and intelligently, following human direction without aggression. Another drone approached from behind. Alex spun slowly, using hand gestures to indicate direction. The war-beast moved as he indicated, intercepting the drone and pushing it aside. It did not attack mindlessly. It calculated its movements, cooperating with Alex as if they were partners. Captain Wren watched from above, astonished. This is remarkable. Every cadet failed. Every attempt ended in chaos. But this human, he's guiding it, not controlling it. The war-beast is thinking, not reacting. Alex continued. The drones were relentless, testing both human and creature. Yet, the war-beast moved with precision, following Alex's subtle gestures, responding to his calm voice, and working with him rather than against him. It was a demonstration of intelligence, empathy, and teamwork. One drone malfunctioned, spinning wildly toward Alex. Most humans would have panicked. The cadets were frozen in fear. Alex stayed calm. He signaled the war-beast to step forward and block the drone. It obeyed immediately, placing itself between Alex and danger. The drone fell harmlessly to the ground. Alex crouched beside the war-beast, giving it a soft pat. "You're doing well," he whispered. "We're learning together." The exercise continued for hours. Each drone attack tested their coordination and communication. The war-beast responded not with aggression, but with intelligence. It waited for Alex's signals, observed the situation, and acted only when necessary. Every move showed that their bond was strong, based on trust and understanding rather than fear or force. The cadets were amazed. "How is it possible?" one muttered. "It's like they can read each other's minds." Alex smiled softly. "It's not minds," he said quietly. "It's trust and patience. The war-beast understands me because I understand it." Finally, the last drone fell inactive on the sand. The war-beast lowered its head and sat beside Alex, wings folded, breathing steady. It had completed the exercise perfectly. Not only had it responded intelligently, but it had also acted in partnership with a human. Captain Wren approached, his expression serious but impressed. "Alex," he said, "you've done what every cadet failed to do. You've shown that humans can achieve what force alone cannot. The war-beast followed you willingly, not because it was forced, but because it chose to trust you." Alex nodded. "It's not about following blindly. It's about understanding. If we respect creatures like this, they can be our allies. If we force them, they will resist. This is how humans can succeed where others fail, through patience, intelligence, and care." The cadets began to realize the truth of his words. Their training had taught them tactics, weapons, and strength, but Alex had shown them a different kind of power, humanity's unique ability to think, feel, and connect. The war-beast nudged Alex gently with its snout, a quiet acknowledgement of their bond. Alex smiled and rested a hand on its massive shoulder. "We've come a long way," he said softly, "and there's still more to learn together." The exercise was over, but the lesson remained. Every cadet had failed because they relied on fear, force, or aggression. Alex had succeeded because he relied on patience, observation, and trust. Humans had a strength no machine, no weapon, and no brute force could replicate. That evening, as the sun set over the canyon, the war-beast lay beside Alex in quiet companionship. Its golden eyes reflected the fading light, calm and alert. The bond they had formed was no longer fragile. It was strong, built on understanding, and ready for any challenge the base or the universe might send their way. And somewhere in the back of the cadets' minds, a new realization began to grow. Humanity's true strength was not in dominance or control. It was in connection, in intelligence, and in the courage to act with wisdom. Alex and the war-beast had proven that in the harshest test of all, the power of trust and understanding. The day of final evaluation arrived at the base. The war-beast had already proven itself in practice exercises with Alex, but now it was time for the full test. Officials, cadets, and trainers gathered to observe. Everyone was tense. After so many failures, the outcome was uncertain, but all eyes were on Alex and the war-beast. Alex walked slowly into the arena, the war-beast beside him. Its golden eyes glimmered with quiet confidence. It had learned to trust him, and he had learned to understand it. Together, they had formed a bond that no cadet or weapon had achieved before. Remember, Captain Wren called, "This is the ultimate test. The war-beast must respond intelligently to human guidance under complex conditions. Fail, and it proves what we already know. It cannot be handled by ordinary humans." Alex nodded. "I understand," he said calmly. "We will do our best, and we will act carefully." The test began. Multiple drones entered the arena simultaneously, moving unpredictably. Some simulated attacks on the war-beast. Others aimed to distract Alex. The cadets held their breath. Every human who had attempted this before panicked or tried to force the creature, ending in disaster. But Alex had something different: patience, calmness, and understanding. He signaled the war-beast to stay close. The creature crouched slightly, golden eyes fixed on him, waiting for guidance. Alex moved slowly through the arena, indicating paths and actions with subtle gestures and voice commands. The war-beast followed without hesitation, intercepting drones, redirecting hazards, and acting as a partner rather than a weapon to control. One drone swerved dangerously toward Alex. The war-beast stepped forward immediately, shielding him with its massive body. Alex reached out, signaling it to push the drone away. With precision and care, the war-beast used its claws to deflect the device harmlessly. It was not fear or instinct. It was intelligence guided by trust. The audience gasped. Even the instructors were astonished. "It's cooperating," whispered one cadet. "It's thinking with him, not reacting blindly." Alex continued, carefully navigating the war-beast through the simulated threats. He spoke softly, giving encouragement rather than orders. The creature responded, anticipating movements, adjusting to unexpected changes, and acting with calm intelligence. It was a partnership built on respect and observation, not fear or force. Midway through the exercise, a major challenge arose. One of the larger drones malfunctioned, spinning wildly toward both Alex and the war-beast. The cadets froze, unsure what to do. Alex remained calm. He crouched, motioning for the war-beast to flank the threat. The creature understood instantly. It moved swiftly, intercepting the drone and redirecting it harmlessly into a padded wall. Alex followed, staying close but allowing the war-beast to make its own decisions within the framework of their trust. Captain Wren, observing from above, spoke quietly to the other officers. Every cadet has failed this test. Every human before has tried to dominate or control it. But Alex, he understands. He doesn't command. It chooses to act. That is remarkable. The final phase involved navigating the war-beast through a maze of obstacles. simulating a real combat scenario with unexpected challenges. Alex moved steadily, signaling subtly, speaking softly. The war-beast followed attentively, adjusting to obstacles, pushing aside hazards, and even using its wings to create temporary cover when a drone swept low. It was a display of intelligence, cooperation, and trust that no one had seen before. At the end of the maze, Alex stopped. The war-beast crouched beside him, breathing calm and steady. The exercise was complete. It had followed every instruction carefully, acted with intelligence, and, most importantly, had done so willingly. It had chosen to work with a human, not out of fear, but out of trust. The observers erupted in applause. Cadets who had doubted quietly began to murmur their admiration. Captain Wren stepped forward, nodding in approval. This is proof of what I suspected but never seen. Humanity's strength is not only in weapons, tactics, or raw power. It is in intelligence, patience, and the ability to understand. Alex has shown that humans can achieve what force alone cannot. He has formed a bond based on trust, and that is more powerful than any weapon. Alex patted the war-beast gently. "We did it together," he said softly. The creature nudged him lightly, acknowledging the partnership. It was a moment of mutual respect and understanding. The cadets gathered around, eager to learn. "How did you do it?" one asked. Alex smiled. "I didn't control it. I watched, I listened, and I waited. I gave it the freedom to act, while I offered guidance. That's how trust is built." Captain Wren addressed everyone. "Remember this day. Every cadet failed because they relied on fear, force, and impatience. Alex succeeded because he used qualities unique to humans: empathy, intelligence, patience, and courage to act wisely. Today, we've seen the true strength of humanity." The war-beast shifted, letting Alex stand. Its golden eyes followed him, calm but alert. It had accepted him not as a master, but as a partner. Together, they had shown that humans could succeed where others had failed, not through dominance, but through connection. As the sun set over the base, the war-beast lowered itself beside Alex, wings folded, breathing steady. The bond they had formed was complete, ready to face any challenge, and a lesson had been taught to everyone present. Humans, with their unique ability to understand, think, and trust, had proven themselves in a world where power alone was not enough. And in that quiet moment, with the war-beast resting peacefully beside him, Alex knew that this was only the beginning. Humanity had shown its strength, not through weapons, not through force, but through patience, understanding, and the courage to connect. The day ended with a sense of triumph, not just for Alex and the war-beast, but for all humans who would come to realize the true power of their own qualities. The war-beast had chosen a human, and in that choice, a new era of cooperation, understanding, and hope had begun.